My guest today is Helen Andrew from Spare Harvest, and on today's episode we talk about social enterprise, circular economy, and how to fit probably a bit too much into your day. Helen, where can people find out more about you and contact you?
Spareharvest.com, easiest way to find me and connect with me.
I'm Robin Cook. This is Stories from the Red Couch. Stay with us right through to the end. I think you'll love it. When we first met, you had just started Spare Harvest. Can you just recap that, what it's about, and what's it doing now? How's it tracking?
Wow, that was some time ago that we first caught up on this couch.
Yes.
Since then, it has started to continually grow organically. Once again, bootstrapping an enterprise like that, it's all about people telling people and sharing it and things like that. But what's probably the biggest change since I actually talked to you was we've actually pivoted a little bit with regard to the marketplace, and now we're looking at partnering with businesses and embedding the marketplace into workplaces and housing estates and buildings. So employees, tenants and residents can actually use the marketplace to connect with each other and share what they've got spare with their kitchens and their gardens.
Look, I think that's brilliant because that's like leveraging on a situation that exists anyway and enhancing what they already have.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a wonderful opportunity. My vision is that someone who's in the top corner office, got a lovely little office and a big title, a big paycheck, will use something in their garden to connect with someone who's maybe the receptionist or the cleaner, and it'll allow them to actually have a lovely social interaction, a really personal interaction within that workplace that's not about their jobs.
So real team building. But yeah, completely different.
Yeah, so
that's
it also
fantastic.
Grows our community too, because it leverages off their community, it connects with our community, and you know my mission's always about reducing waste and reducing consumption.
Always.
So if we can make that go on scale, which is what I'm hoping to do, that's the plan.
That's fantastic. So you're also such an amazing connector of people and resources, which is how the whole Spare Harvest business came about.
Yep.
What are you doing now, though? Because you're like me and you meander through life and you find opportunities and you're collecting experiences. What are you doing now?
Yeah, I love how our little rainbow just sort of ducks and weaves
It's
and the people we met. I love connecting with people. I love that Spare Harvest does that too, so it's that really lovely synergy. So Spare Harvest, we've talked about before, is a social enterprise, and I'm really passionate about developing the social enterprise ecosystem, because social enterprises are that lovely real blend of business doing well, but also the way it actually makes a social or an environmental cultural impact. So it's about doing business differently, and I think our world needs our businesses to do things differently. So that ecosystem is very very important to me, that we actually develop that and grow it, and so it thrives here on the Sunshine Coast. So I've stepped up and I've got appointed onto the board of the Queensland Social Enterprise Council, and Sunshine Coast here is a chapter of the Queensland Social Enterprise Council, and so I'm on the board of the Queensland one and also on the leadership team of the local chapter.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I didn't realise that you were on the board of the Queensland one. Does that mean that you are travelling backwards and forwards to Brisbane?
Yep, 7:30 board meetings once a month.
Okay.
And I try as much as I possibly can to do face-to-face. I can zoom in.
Yes.
But real value these days is the face-to-face connections. It's really important.
It is important, isn't it? And you're building the subtleties of the relationship when you're meeting face to face.
Isn't the statistic that communication is 95% unspoken and 5% spoken?
Yeah, something like that.
So I mean, I love Zoom and I love Skype and I love text and I love email and all that sort of stuff. But really, we need to do this.
Yeah. So what sort of businesses are social enterprises? Because as you said, it's a growing thing, certainly in Queensland, but absolutely on the Sunshine Coast. What sort of businesses identify as that?
Well, once you have a look at it's a broad definition, and it's there's no black and white definition, there's grey around social enterprise, but the broad understanding of a social enterprise, it is a business that trades, so they create the majority of their revenue through trade, not through grants or philanthropy. They are making a social or environmental impact, and they're investing at minimum 51% of their profits back into their mission or their purpose. So based on that, you can have a variety of businesses identify as social enterprises. I meet businesses out there and talk to them, and then I ask them a few questions about that, and then I realise they're a social enterprise, but they would never identify themselves as a social enterprise. So we've got people who are in the coffee business, you know. We've got Terry Walker with her Gen 7 cafe, where she's helping the Indigenous people, people returning to work out of the prison system, learning to make coffees and barista and customer service. So that's making a social impact. People in the disability space are using that to actually grow food and sell it on, and they're using people who are challenged in finding normal work. They've given an opportunity to have purpose in their life. We've got doctors out there who are providing services to the homeless so they can do things. We've got Orange Sky Laundry who are doing laundry services for the homeless. We've got Vanguard Laundry in Toowoomba who are doing laundry services.
That's an astonishing
That's an
story,
amazing
isn't it?
one.
Yeah. Same as Orange Sky. And
Yep.
I mean, those social enterprises have come out of a very real and genuine need and have flourished with some amazing support from the government and philanthropic businesses as well as regular businesses.
Yeah.
But they're very clear about generating an income.
Correct.
And that's one of the key
And
features,
that's
isn't
the
it?
key to the financial sustainability. There's no point having an amazing project that's doing really good out in the world, and it's all dependent on a grant. Put in a grant application. If you don't get it, the project falls over, the impact gone, and we aren't helping anyone anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the shift to social enterprise, to ensure that you have a way of trading to ensure your financial stability. And it's not project based now, it's an ongoing business that's making a social or environmental impact.
How would a regular business, a business that would never consider themselves to be social enterprise, include something that would be socially beneficial to their environment, whether that's, you know, their community or that kind of thing? How do people do
little
it?
things like that, like Sunshine Butterflies up Noosa Way, help people with disabilities in the garden, and they grow food and things like that. A business purchasing their herbs from someone like that is actually making an impact in the community. They're providing a service. They have to buy their herbs somewhere. They might as well buy their herbs from that organisation. Compass is another one we've got up here. It's about asking businesses, and what you're talking about has actually got a name. It's called social procurement.
Okay.
And that's what businesses are doing now, is they're actually looking at going, okay, if we have to buy stationery, or we have to buy chairs, or we have to buy food, or we have to buy that service, is there someone in our community that is providing that service or that product that is also having a social or environmental impact? And that's what we're asking businesses to do, is actually have a look at their procurement processes and look at how they could actually procure from these type of businesses. And that's exactly what Spare Harvest is trying to do, is actually work with businesses, and if they're looking for a corporate social responsibility initiative or a wellbeing initiative, have a look at Spare Harvest and have a look at our marketplace and see if that fits in with the organisation.
I guess the other thing that, the other benefit that would come out of that is preventing the leakage of money outside of your community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if and councils are doing it too.
Yeah, so government have started to realise that they have a social responsibility and a responsibility to their taxpayers, that they actually are taking their money where it's going to make a big impact. So social procurement within all levels of government is starting to increase substantially, to the point where the tender process, if an organisation in the tender process puts a tender in and they're actually working with a social enterprise, they actually get an extra 1 or 2 points towards their tender process.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So is there a way of making sure that it's not a tokenistic?
That, I think each of the levels of government have their actual processes in place. Part of the reason why QSEC's really important is they actually keep a directory of social enterprises there. So if a business wants to engage with a social enterprise, there's transparency around going to the QSEC website, engaging with one of those social enterprises. The tender comes in, government go look at the tender and go, I'm engaging with a social enterprise. They can go back to QSEC and have a look if that's a social enterprise.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
you've been engaged in quite a bit of public speaking lately too, haven't you?
Oh yeah. I've had a few people contact me and said,
That's
Helen,
incredible.
I mean, I love it. It's
Sure.
real small grassroots groups, like Slow Food Noosa yesterday. I'm off to Permaculture Noosa tomorrow. Planting, that one turns my belly a bit. 50 minutes on my own. We were at Woodford earlier this year.
We were.
You and I and Cass shared the stage, and that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
no
that was
pressure
a
at
lot
all.
of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But now I've got 50 minutes on my own talking about how Spare Harvest is in that sharing and circular economy, which is a really emerging ecosystem. And so now the pressure's on for me to actually hold the floor for 50 minutes. But that's the challenge. I really enjoy the small groups. I've just done a whole heap of library talks here on the Sunshine Coast, which was fantastic. I love the small intimate groups because I turn the presentation into almost a conversation. Which is what I really love. And they ask questions, we learn from each other. Everyone goes, how do you compost? How do you stop the wet stuff? What about the bush turkeys? And we just have conversations and we learn from each other, which is the principles of Spare Harvest anyway. But yeah.
How have you overcome some of the challenges of that though? Because public speaking is not for everyone.
No.
And I guess that you've had to do things to help you to be out in front of a crowd. What have you had to do? Choose public speaking opportunities that I are comfortable with for a start. I don't step out of that. So if they're asking me to talk about my story or talk about Spare Harvest, easy thing to do. Tick, 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 done. Then what I do is then I modify the presentation for the people that I'm talking to. So I make it relevant, I make it engaging and whatnot, and I use my slides, if I got the opportunity to have slides, I use my slides as my prompter of what to talk about next. And so I'm very thoughtful of where I put those slides and the flow that I'm looking at doing. But Noosa, Slow Food Noosa yesterday, it was a chat. Perfect, love those. They ask questions like you're doing now. I answer them. They're really easy opportunities. So, yeah, I've always not really had a problem with public speaking. If I had I've got a problem writing. Don't ask me to write a book or do poetry. Can't write, but I'm happy to speak. Happy to speak. I can do that. If I could do all my exams in school speaking, I would have been fine. Yes.
So I just modify my content, make sure I'm clear about what the message is that I'm doing, who's in the audience, and then I work through that process.
Yeah. What's been the most exciting thing you've done in terms of public speaking?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you're talking on the ABC radio now too.
Yeah, I got a regular gig with Sheridan.
I love that.
Just before I came to see you, I'm on the radio with Sheridan. We're talking about young gardeners, kids getting into gardening. It's not just for the old people, and we could talk about that forever.
I know.
I don't know. Exciting's probably not the word that I would use.
Scary.
No, I absolutely love it.
Yes.
I mean, you ring me and say there's an opportunity to come on the couch, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I really do love it. I'm talking about something I'm really passionate about. I'm talking about something I really know. But I don't. The nerves are there, always there, no matter how good you are as a public speaker.
Thing, though, because I do a lot of public speaking as well.
Yep.
And I'm always nervous.
Yep, nerves keep you on your toes.
Absolutely.
Stop you being lazy.
Yeah. So what do you talk to Sheridan about? So that's on ABC.
Yeah,
Sunshine
I've got
Coast.
ABC Queensland, rural Queensland. So Sheridan now actually does all of Queensland except for Brisbane.
That's so cool. Okay.
So the audience is quite wide. So we have a little chat about what we want the topic to be about this week, and sometimes I bring guest speakers in. I had Karen from Montfield Coffee who've had on the couch. I got her to come in to talk because they're a B Corp, so I wanted to talk about them. But our chats are all around three key themes. It's the planet, the people, and purpose. And if we stay around those sort of themes, then it becomes a conversation like you and I are having right now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Your mother has been unwell recently.
Yes.
God, it's
5 weeks in intensive care.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, Christmas, New Year, gone.
Yeah.
Yep, she's home and she's recovering.
Fabulous.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
But it's knocked her for a 6.
Yeah. It's such a difficult thing.
Yes.
You've also got kids still
teenagers.
in school.
Yep.
Yeah, teenagers,
Yep.
not just
kids.
little kids. Teenagers in school, and you're involved. You've got Spare Harvest, and you're involved in a cluster of other activities.
I'm picky about what I say yes to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I've got a husband that flies away a lot too.
Okay,
so
he's a pilot.
Exactly. So he's gone this morning. So I've got a week of just me and the kids with drop-offs,
So how do you manage
pickups,
that?
after-school activities.
Are there things that you've had to let go by the wayside, or?
Well, the biggest thing I've had to do is add something into my life, which is called a diary.
Okay.
Up until about 2 years ago, I never had a diary. Even through all my whole work life, never had a diary. For some reason, I was able to remember where I had to be at what time, and I could do that. But now, with so much activity going on, my brain is fried. I've had to add a diary into my process. So my phone and my computer are all colour-coded. Ron's roster goes in, all the kids' activities go in, and then Spare Harvest gets added in. And if there's conflicts or with the kids' activities, or Ron can't do school pickup or can't do drop-off, the answer is no. It's a straight out no. And it's been really balancing, you know, like I could easily, if Spare Harvest, the offers come, I could do yes, yes, yes all the time. But the fact that I've had to make sure I'm home for the kids, I can drop them off, I can pick them up, it's kept some balance in my life.
Yeah.
But mind you, I'm shoving a lot in between drop off and school pickup.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how are you sitting with all of that? Because right now it's March.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like I felt towards the end of November last year, where I had so many things that I was involved with, and looming deadlines, and getting things ready so that I could go on holidays and all of those sorts of things. I don't feel like I've even had
a holiday.
Yeah, a holiday. How are you managing with that?
So you know how the kids have school holidays?
Yes.
I have school holidays.
Ah.
So what I do is I work really hard in the school term, push everything in, and then everything goes down.
Yeah.
I only do what I need to do over the school holidays because I'm there for the kids. We go to the beach, we do things. So the school holidays becomes my downtime as well.
Yeah.
And I'm being really clear about that too. You know, I take less stuff. Like they're teenagers now. I can leave them at home. I could be in Brisbane 5 days a week and leave them at home if I wanted to, because they're capable, they're able to. But that's not why I had two children. You know, Spare Harvest fits around my children. As I said to someone, my 2 children are my first social enterprise.
Yes.
Because what I invest in them is going to make a social or environmental impact out there in the world.
Actually, that's a really nice way of looking at that.
Based on how I parent them will determine how responsible they are, how they contribute socially and environmentally in the world. They are my first social enterprise. They are my key, and then after them, Spare Harvest fits in with that.
That's fantastic. All right.
They keep me balanced. On point.
As they do.
Yes.
As they do.
Yes.
Thank you for talking with me today.
Always a pleasure, Robin.
It was fabulous.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for watching. My guest today is Helen Andrew. How can people find out more about you, or where they can contact you?
Spareharvest.com. And if you want to reach out and connect with me, go to the Connect Us page and send a message, and that comes straight to my inbox.
Fabulous. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.